Thank you. And I'm just honored to be among so many people who have overcome so much. I mean, what I'm hearing is very similar to my story, which is I just had a lot to overcome. And I'm reminded of the book David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell, who's an author who I respect quite a bit. He says that we don't, people who are highly successful many times, they don't succeed in spite of having something that's holding them back. They succeed because of that. It works as a catalyst to push them forward, to make them actually strive more than someone whose life was just okay and everything was good when they were coming up. So I think a lot of us have benefited from that effect, and I count myself among them. My history is a lot like the rest of the histories that I've been hearing. I had some things that weren't quite going my way. I was a shy kid to begin with, and a lot of this stemmed from the fact that my mom died. Like Lydia, my mom had leukemia, but unfortunately she wasn't as successful at it back then in the early 70s. Medical technology wasn't quite what it is these days. And so my mom passed away when I was 6. She wanted to see my 6th birthday, and 2 days after that, she passed away. My dad became an alcoholic after that, understandably so. He had that big gap in his life. The woman he loved more than anything had left him and had left us. And then my dad remarried my stepmom, who was a wonderful lady, but we didn't get along at that time when I was a teenager, and I was sent to military school. And that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be anywhere except military school. So it's actually in military school that I found the power that would guide me the rest of my life, because I found a book about hypnosis, and it was called The Complete Guide to Hypnosis by Leslie LeCron, PhD. And Dr. LeCron is no longer with us, but he was part of the early research in the late 50s, early 60s at Stanford, and when Stanford and Harvard were getting together and figuring out what hypnosis is and what are the guidelines, he was part of that. So he wrote a little paperback book that I read in high school, and I started hypnotizing my roommates. And just for fun at first, I was bored. I didn't want to be there. I didn't know this would lead to any kind of career or anything. I just wanted to have an escape of some sort. So I started hypnotizing my roommates, and soon the smart kids came to me wanting to study more efficiently, and then the athletes came to me and they wanted to exercise more efficiently, because they knew that I was hypnotizing people on my bunk bed there in Riverside Military Academy, Mooney Barracks, 3rd floor, front side. Got a reputation of, strange things going on, because I had people lined up. These were fellow students lined up to be hypnotized. I then realized that I was really onto something, that this was actually helping people. I was actually empowering people. So I started using it on myself. I started hypnotizing myself. I started making recordings for myself and hypnotizing myself, cassette tapes. And what I found was that anything that I wanted to work on that I was having difficulty with, I could just do a hypnosis session on myself, and I could tap into my inner power, my inner strength, and I could unleash that, just like I had been doing for my students, my fellow students in military school. We were all sent there by our parents for various reasons, most of them behavioral, and I was helping myself and others. And I was so fortunate to have found that, because here's something that set me free. It opened me up. I was able to express myself. I was able to be comfortable with myself. I was able to help others. So all these years later, it's the same thing I was doing in military school that I'm doing now, except now the smart kids I work with are NASA, and the athletes I work with are the Dodgers baseball team. But other than that, it's the same exact thing that I was doing with a little paperback book as a kid in high school. And so I just kept on doing that. So I wanted to share with you guys today a little bit in the time I have remaining, not a hypnosis session, we really don't have time to get into that, but just how hypnosis works, in case you're wondering, well, how can I do this with myself? So it's very simple. If you want to do a hypnosis session with yourself, Very straightforward. It's just 5 different parts. And I recommend making a recording for yourself. So first of all, you're just inducing the hypnotic trance. You're just telling a story about relaxing, walking on a beach or walking in the woods. That's all. Just record that. No hypnosis there, just telling a relaxing story. And then you want to intensify that by saying, the sun is setting. So you can imagine the sun setting, counting from 10 to 1 as the sun is setting. And you're recording all this, so you listen to it later. The issue is if you do it live, you may fall asleep. So you want to record it and play it back. And it's okay if you go unconscious because you're still recording through your ears. You're still listening to the recording through your ears and getting the message. So the inductions first, just a relaxing walk somewhere. The deepening, sunset, counting from 10 to 1. And then the script where you're programming yourself. So as a kid in high school, I was programming myself to be more outgoing, more confident, more motivated, more interested in school. I doubt that I would have gotten a doctorate if I hadn't programmed myself hypnotically because I did not like school. That's one of the reasons I wound up in military school, because I did not like school. So you can change, anyone can change. So the induction, the deepening, and the script, where you're just programming yourself. Then amnesia, which is where you cause yourself to forget the programming. You can skip that part if you want, because if you're making it yourself, you'll probably remember it anyway. That's just something we do so people don't analyze it afterwards. And then trans-termination, where you bring yourself back up, or you can tell yourself to go to sleep if you want to listen to it at night. So that's the hypnosis session. That's how it works. But I wanted to leave you all with a quote that's been very powerful for me because I noticed that some people are sharing quotes, and one that's made a big difference for me is a quote by the musical group America, and they were talking about the Wizard of Oz. And the Wizard of Oz said in the movie, or the musical group America said about the Wizard of Oz concerning the movie and the book, Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And I take that to mean that, in my case, hypnosis won't give you anything you don't already have right now. What it does is it unlocks it, that power, that beauty, that amazement, that motivation, that confidence that you already have. That's what hypnosis gives to you. That's what it gave to me.